Alright, welcome to Bromance Wargaming. It's not going to be a battle report this time. It's actually just going to be Dallas talking about a new list he's going to be trying out, going away from the Slon, I believe.
No.
Oh, sorry, I was hoping.
Of course you were. You fool.
But still, it's a new list. Putting some new stuff in his army, trying some new things out, going away from the multi-stag
Yes.
format.
Actually, the biggest thing is I'm not going to be using light for my salon.
Okay.
That's actually the biggest thing because I've used it just so much recently, the last couple of tournaments and everything, and I really enjoy it. But I want to try some different things out, try some other lores, learn them a little bit better, and kind of tweak my list to go along with that. And I'm starting with Beast.
All right, so the list is centered a little bit around Beast instead of Light.
Yes.
So Dallas, take it away.
All right. The biggest thing, and it's going to be posted for everyone to see. I'm keeping my Slon with his usual getup of running by himself solo, being ethereal, the becoming cogitation. Is my usual setup for him is pretty much the same. But of course, Beast, like I said, and I'm not going to actually use Lore Master for this because I don't think all the spells are necessary. So I'm going to be hoping I can get the few of them that are particular. Of course, Wild Form and the Savage Beasts are my two biggest ones that I'm looking for. The other big thing is I've never really ran them too much, but I want to run actually 3 Scarvets, each one on cold ones. My main one is going to be it's going to have a Dragon Helm, a Crown of Command, and a Luck Stone, just to kind of give him a little bit extra and with a great weapon. So he's going to have and light armor, so he's going to have a 1-up armor save with Crown of Command, so I may use him to hold up units as well. My other 2 are also listed there, and they have a little bit different items each. Besides that, you can see I have my 2 usual blocks of Saurus, group of Skink Skirmishers, couple of units of Chameleon Skinks. I have 1 small unit of 5 Cold One Riders. I'm trying those out just to see if they can add a little bit extra punch. And of course, I've given them the Banner of Eternal Flame for when I need flaming attacks on something. And I'm using 1 Ancient Stag in this list to add another little combat punch, and my usual 2 Salamanders or Charmanders, as you've seen from the battle reports. I'm thinking, the 3 Scarvets are all going to be ran solo by themselves. I'm trying them out to add some flexibility, where I use them, where I can send them into which combats I want particularly. I may, if the combat or the scenario calls for it, run them in with the Cold One Riders, but right now I'm looking at running them each individually. Again, with the Beasts, I'm looking at like the Savage Beast bubble. I'm trying to hit all 3 of them, so I got some massive attacks going. Again, it's a brand new list for me. I'm not really sure how well it's going to go starting out. If you guys have, you look at my list, you have any comments, suggestions, things that you might, you would say I should do differently, I'll keep that in mind as I'm tweaking this list, because this is, again, something new and just wanting to kind of branch out. And I'm going to just go along, and we're going to post multiple videos like this as we go along in our stages of evolution through these different lists. So keep that in mind as we go forward.
Can you think of really strengths of the list, like things that you're really going to focus on for list synergy? And you touched on a little bit, but what's the powerhouses, the strengths of the list?
Really, it's going to be big one is how well my Scarvets can do by themselves. They have a lot of punch in a little model, so I want to just see how well they do all running by themselves.
Okay.
One thing I have thought about doing right now, I have the Standard of Discipline with my Slon. I've actually thought about giving him the Standard of Swiftness to have him be a little bit quicker, so I can keep up better with my cold ones. That may be something I do in the future.
Gotcha. What do you see as the biggest weakness of the list that you can tell?
The biggest weakness is it's not as I don't want to say tough, but like in my other lists, using those stegodons, they've been really, hard hitting, getting impact hits plus their own attacks and so forth. It's going to be a lot of synergy on how well my Slon does with them, with those Scarvets. Otherwise, I think it'll be okay. I think the Scarvets are actually, I can almost get, with the points I have, almost 2 Scarvets for 1 stag, which I think is actually a really good trade-off. Again, it's going to take some tweaking. I haven't actually played this list or anything like it yet, so I'm just going to have to see.
Have to play it by ear and see. All right. Well, hopefully we'll be able to get any changes or tweaks, like you said, up to the list as it progresses. But more importantly, some battle reports. It probably won't be for a while before we can see any battle reports with the 2,500 point list that Dallas just spoke. Just with the holidays coming up and us having to actually focus on the campaign that we're trying to run, we really need to get on that. I think we still have Chris and I have a battle, so hopefully we can get some of that up, get some more 1,500 point games going, and then from there keep you guys occupied with fun/stupid little videos like this.
Yeah, so definitely any of you Lizardmen players that are seeing this and have Ram Beasts, kind of just throw some comments on what y'all have seen and what y'all have used.
All right, we'll get back with either Matt or Jody next.
All right, we're back with Maticus. He's going to talk about some slight changes he's wanting to make to his Dark Elf list so that people don't hate him as much with the Skill Raiser. That's pretty much it. Go for it, Matt.
Well, it's not just that I don't want people to hate me, because come on, with looks like this, who can stay mad at me for long? Am I right?
This guy.
A couple people.
The people I use Skill Raiser on. It's also because I've noticed a disturbing trend, and it's when I get Mind Razor off, I win. When I don't get Mind Razor off, I lose. It's very hit or miss. And so, like, in the loss I took in Huntsville, the loss I took in Gigabytes last week, the turn I needed Mind Razor, I rolled 6 dice, and I got a 10 on 6 dice, so it didn't cast. I can't do that and expect to win. I never recovered from that. That would have won me essentially the game, and I can't afford that. The other thing was I got really lucky in game 1. I had 4 dice, and I got it off with the stab. If that had not happened again, I would have lost because I didn't cast Mind Razor. So I wanted to try a list that was less reliant on a single strategy, that was pick up a bunch of dice and throw it at a single spell. So this is kind of the first result of that. And I know some people are going to give me... and I even stayed away from the Stubborn Unkillable Dreadlord for the most part. I took a Dreadlord because I haven't run a Dreadlord yet, except in a couple lists, like little one-off lists. He has the Armor of Eternal Servitude, the Dragonbane Gem, Crown of Command, and the Crimson Death, and some mundane stuff. And he's on the cold one. Excuse me. And so he has a 2-up armor save, a 4-up regen. He's a 2-up ward versus fire. And then he has strength 6 all the time from Crimson Death, and is stubborn. I took a Supreme Sorceress, level 4. She's going to use the lore of Dark Magic. I gave her a Dispel Scroll and the Pendant of Kaleth, and I don't think anybody will be mad at me for taking the reverse ward save pendant on a Sorceress who doesn't have any armor, so at least there's some way to hurt her. And she has the Dispel Scroll because, again, I'm trying to get away from the Sacrificial Dagger, but also those spells are easy to cast on Lore of Dark Magic, and she's my only wizard. I have the Death Hag Cauldron, BSB. I can't give up the best 225 points in the army. I gave up Shadow, I gave up the Sacrificial Dagger. I'm not running a flying, stubborn, pendant Dreadlord. I had to keep something, and I think the Cauldron is just that amazing.
It's okay. An Iron Blaster can kill it.
I don't like to talk about that. The core is going to be really wonky for me. I am not sure how it's going to work out. I've got a unit of 20 Corsairs with repeater handbows and the Frenzy banner. I'm going to hopefully use them to hold a flank and to do some light shooting and annoyance. The Frenzy banner keeps them at 2 attacks each. I have a second unit of 20 Corsairs. They have the same additional hand weapons. They're going to combo with the Frenzied repeater unit. The Frenzied Corsairs, and hopefully do that flank protection or sweeping, or even because of the slaver rule that allows me to make people re-roll their highest dice on a flee, I can get into some combats and hopefully chase people down, which is something that I do poorly, is roll dice to chase people. To round out my core, I got 15 repeater crossbowmen with the musician. Pew, 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 pew. That's the most I've ever run with. 30 shots in a single unit is gonna seem weird to me for a while. But actually in Gigabytes, they were some of my best troops. Mm-hmm. So, but I did fight like elves when they did awesomely. So, toughness 3 and all that. Again, I got Old Faithful, 5 Harpies. The big change here in Special is 14 Cold One Knights with full command and the ASF banner. I'm going to put the general in there. For the most part, I don't think that he will run out to hold up big, scary blocks on his own if he has to. But again, the Knights benefit really well from the Cauldron, or they benefit, and they will benefit really well from some Dark Magic. My favorite spell in the lore of Dark Magic is the one that gives them the opponent weapon skill, ballistic skill 1. I should mention real quick that the Sorceress is actually going to go in the non-frenzied Corsairs, which is why she has the pendant, because I don't have a bunker for her. She's going to run up front in a pseudo-combat block. The ASF on the back to the Cold One Knights, the Always Strike First banner is to keep them decently hurt-y on the subsequent rounds of combat, so they still get re-rolls with their initiative 6 and their strength 4, so they can still put up some damage even in subsequent rounds when they're not strength 6 on the charge. I guess I said strength 6 twice. When they're strength 4 not on the charge, so that'll give them a little bit extra buff. Then I have 20 Blackguard with the Standard and the Banner of Eternal Flame. I need something that has flaming attacks, and that's the place that I put it. 20 Blackguard, staple, very reliable, very amazing. Again, without Shadow Magic, I can't throw them into a unit and go, wee, I'm a blender. But hopefully I'll be able to still deal with some medium troops, or beat up units of elites with them. I have a unit of 5 Shades with additional hand weapons. Really, I had 85 points left and I didn't know what to do with it. I can't add more Blackguard. I didn't really want to add more Cold One Knights, although, again, as the list progressed, I may add more Cold One Knights. But I felt like, 5 Shades, 85 points, maybe I can make something happen with them. I can have them hunt War Machines. I can have them hunt Chaff. I'm not going to feel too terrible about it. And then, of course, I have the Ubiquitous Hydra, because it's 175 points and it forces people to react to it. And it gives me some extra, hit in the list as well. One of the things I'm actually really interested in trying to get into the list is some chariots, some Cold One chariots. And I'm not sure what I dropped, but again, I haven't played the list yet. But Cold One chariots are on the list for things to try and fit in at 100 points each. They're pretty resilient and they are pretty nasty as well. I think that the list is going to be good at being much more aggressive than my shadow list, where I kind of baited and counterpunched. I think I'll be able to dictate the tempo of the battle much better by actually going out and actively trying to hurt people. I think the downfall really, the thing that scares me is the Sorceress in the combat block. Even with the reverse ward save, that still scares me. And the second thing that kind of scares me, or the second weakness I guess I see, is that I don't, with elves, and this is just something I have to get over. I also play orcs and goblins, and so when I play orcs and goblins and I lose a unit, I have other units around. With elves, if I lose the unit of Blackguard, I'm down half of my combat power, a third of my combat power, and it starts getting scary. So it just it's a very big gameplay change for me. So it's something I'm gonna have to get used to. But other than that, I think that the list has potential to do well. Again, like I said, the things I wanna get in, I kind of want to get some Pegasus characters in, and I may change the sorceress to be on a Pegasus if I can, and I want to get some chariots in there as well. But that's me.
All right, well that's Matt.
All right, folks, we're picking back up. Now it's Dallas narrating because we had to see the nice shot of Jody's mug right there.
It's an unpleasant
Booyah.
mug most of the time.
Oh, it's hot. Not
It's
really.
only hot when you fill it with cider.
Hot cider. Hot cider. I guess it's my turn to talk about my new list, at least a list that's new to me, because if you haven't seen it, if I haven't played it, it's new to me. It's very similar to a list that is around there on the forums. The Coven of Light list is quite popular with High Elves, so it's very similar to that. We'll give you the rundown real quick. Level 4 with Valeria's robe and a Lore Master's cloak. 3 level 2s, all light, and the level 4 is a light as well. 1 level 2 has the Seer Staff, 1 has a Newlian Crystal, and 1 has the Dispel Scroll. It's a lot of mages, but I was still able to fit a BSB Dragon Armor, Great Weapon, and for kicks, I got 5 extra points. I put a Luck Stone on him. So on a 2500, just barely met my hero. For core, I've got 4 units of 10 archers each, and 2 units of 10 spear elves with a musician. I got my 2 great eagles, because no high elf list is complete without 2 great eagles. Best 50 points almost in the game. Almost. And for special, I got right now 7 dragon princes with the champion in a skein sliver, and then the cornerstone of the entire list, a horde of 30 sword masters with a banner of sorcery, full command, and Iron Curse icon on the champion. Obviously, the horde of sword masters is where everything lies in this list. The fairly obvious idea with light and the Seer Staff in the level 4 is to try to get double Foz, double banishment. I'm pretty confident that that'll happen with 3 level 2s. It's a given. Just matters who gets them. But with the support that I'm going to be able to have with Foz and banishment, I'm hoping to be able to take out enough of whether it's giants or hydras or single characters or even chariots, war machines with the banishment. Hopefully get some of that stuff out of the way so that my sword masters can just be run straight into whatever is the most points on the table for my opponent. Unlike Dark Elves, I don't need Mind Razor to wreck stuff.
Sounds like a challenge.
So,
Challenge accepted, Matt.
challenge accepted.
I don't have a glove to throw at you. I was going to throw my gauntlet down.
I will throw my 30 sword masters into your 20 blackguard any day.
I won't accept.
Exactly.
Wait. No, still not.
If you notice with the core, and this is something Matt and I have actually talked about, one of my favorite things to do, and my lists haven't really shown it, but one of my favorite things to do is to go 5 sword masters and just run a unit of them. I can go up to 6 units of sword masters, being high elves and special. It's 75 points for some of the probably hardest hitting chaff in the game. People have to take it seriously. I can run it into anything and almost get the points back. That being said, as much as I love that, it still takes away some of the special, and it's still 75 points. And I don't really want to have to field 4 eagles. So the idea is to run the 10 archers in front. be able to pluck some wounds off of things, if not direct all 40 of the shots at one target and take out a chariot or put some wounds on a hydra. But also, since they're relatively inexpensive for me at 110 points a unit, they can stand and shoot, they can take charges. I can set them up almost like Noblars for ogres, where I get the nice 10-inch charge range for my swordmasters. Depending on what I'm facing and who I'm facing, my idea is to run my level 4 either in the swordmasters, potentially with the robe and the loremaster's cloak to give him a 2-up against magic, or run him directly behind the swordmasters by himself and give him a lookout, sir. That's going to depend on what kind of magic my opponent has. Same with the BSB. I know it's a huge risk running 800-900 points in a single unit as a Death Star unit, especially with spells like Dwellers out there. But it's just a risk I'm going to have to take. I really think anything I throw that unit into, even a horde of 40 orc biggins, I will win that fight. It just, I need to win 2 or 3 of those fights. So hopefully with the redirecting, with the extra spells, Foz Bubble, War Machines aren't going to hit me that hard. If they do, I do have the Iron Curse icon, just in case. So that's kind of my plan. There's definitely some things that I might tweak. The 7 Dragon Princes, I'm tempted to find some extra points, maybe get rid of the BSB or one of the mages, and run 2 units of 5 Dragon Princes. They're really there, again, to try to take out Hydras or Salamanders. They get the 2-up against Salamanders.
We're not shooting at them. I can tell you exactly where I'm shooting.
But that's where the Skiing Sliver comes in. Hopefully I get that first turn. So it's risky. I got a lot of points in magic, but on the bright side, even if I lose 1 or 2 mages, I think I'd still be okay. And worst comes to worst, if I get the 6th spell in light and give my Swordmaster's movement 10 with an extra attack, I guess I'll accept if I need to.
I don't accept though.
So we'll see how it plays out. There's a few things I've been debating on switching out, like with my level 4, taking the Talisman of Sapphire over the Loremaster's Cloak and using him to soak challenges with the robe. That's one possibility that I've been thinking of. But kind of like Matt's list, I guess it's going to have to be played and see how it does, how I do with it. Spell priority is fairly easy, which is nice. The downside is, can I use my small units to redirect and choose the battles I want? I think that's really going to be the toughest for me. But we'll have some fun with it. And with the Banner of Sorcery, I mean, you can't go too wrong. So that's, I think, it. Weaknesses, kind of already mentioned it. Spells like Dwellers, Pit of Shades, things that target whole units that don't let me get any kind of save off is really going to be the biggest. Things like Foot of Gork. It's just going to be rough on the unit. I don't have life, so I can't regrowth them. But that's where the Dispel Scroll is, and I have +5 to Dispel and the Newlean Crystal. So I'm really hoping that if he does get one of those spells off, or somebody gets one of those spells off, it'll have to be irresistible, and it'll hopefully take out his wizard at the same time. It's kind of what I hope for. Greatest strength, I think that the Swordmasters speak for themselves as far as what the most powerful thing in the army is, and anything I hit with that should.
And the super strength banishment ain't too bad either.
That is true. Strength 7, I believe, is what it will be, which would make any War Machine cry. Even the Slan would have to scare that with reroll wards. But
my Slan could do it.
Probably. But we'll see. Any comments, questions, concerns? Let me know. I think that's it.
Excellent. All right, folks. We've called a little bit of an audible here on this as we're going through the taping, and we decided to have a little bit of commentary at the end. where we're kind of just discussing the other players list, what we think, what we see in it, what we think is going to really suck to go against, what we think we can do against it to counter it. And since I'm looking at Matt right now, I guess if you want to go first.
That's fine. Really, and this is going to be a really common thread for me. What I'm gonna have to do for I'll start with the beast list.
Yeah.
Of lizardmen. I'm gonna have to use Killing Blow from the Cauldron to kill the Scarvets. Like that's the only thing I'm gonna be able to do. I'm not sure that I don't remember whether they have ward saves or not.
No, I don't think right now they don't.
And that's good for you. They're cheap and they are very resilient at toughness 5 and 1 up armor save. But I'm gonna have to use Killing Blow, which means I'm gonna have to either get them in my turn or I'm gonna have to weather a round of attacks from them, which again versus my squishy elves is gonna suck.
Yeah, but if I don't get them all in and I can't make yours run, you're gonna be steadfast if I just run one into them. So
yeah. But again, if you hit me first, and I don't have Killing Blow, the second round is much harder for me to kill you because I don't have hatred anymore.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to have to somehow get you piecemeal.
All right, folks. Sorry for the bit of the disruption, but we had a technical issue. But continue on, Matt.
I was just saying I'm going to have to get you, get to attack you piecemeal, which won't be as hard as it sounds, I don't think. I've got the Cold Knights, which are the same speed. The Harpies that can redirect a little bit. The Hydra's not that much slower and is always a threat. So I think I'd be okay. I just have to make sure that I don't let you charge all of your Scarvets into me at the same time and go crazy. And if you do, I have to make sure that's the magic phase I stuffed.
Fact.
As far as the Horde of Light goes, I am really kind of out in the middle of nowhere. About the only thing I can think of is I'm going to have to sacrifice something to get the flank of the Swordmasters. Or I'm going to have to throw my general at the Swordmasters and then kill everything else with a leadership 10, hopefully rerollable general. Now the thing with my general is he's still vulnerable to Killing Blow because regen isn't allowed versus Killing Blow, which again I'm trying to be a little more friendly. So, but I'm not sure how that'll work out. I'm not sure how you guys will. I'm not sure if you have a way to get Killing Blow on that list, but if you do, that's So really, my immediate answer is throw the Dreadlord at the Horde and kill everything else, and let him tank. But I'm not entirely sure that he'll probably tank. So, and the other thing I'm going to have to do is just, kill characters. I'm going to have to find some ways to kill your characters and stop the magic. Lord of Light makes me sad.
So like Shades to the rescue there.
Yeah, I'll be able to Shades plus Cauldron of Blood hopefully and get a wizard or two. They can't hurt your Archmage obviously. But I can hopefully get like your Seer Staff Mage, which will have Foz and Banishment, which will make my life infinitely easier. And again, I'm going to have to choose the magic phase I stuff really carefully to ensure that I actually get something, get what I need off. Like if I've got the counter charge lined up, let's say, I have to stuff the phase before. So I have to look into the future and see that with my totally precognizant brain. That's pretty much me. Those were my thoughts.
Excellent. All right, Jody. Swing over to you.
Looking at the Lizardmen list, I think the thing that scares me the most is getting combo charged by the Vets and the Stag. Mainly because I don't think my Horde can swing enough death into that. I know I could do some, but the Stag gets the stomps and it's going to hold up the Horde. All those Vets doing all those wounds into even if I make it out alive, I'm not going to have anything left. I really think that what I'm going to do against the Lizardmen is choose my combats wisely and banish the crap out of your characters. Strength 7 is just going to wreck them if I get it off, and I will have most likely guaranteed 2 banishments in that list. In fact, it is a guarantee. So that's what I'm going to have to do is really focus on double banishment. Shooting isn't as big of a deal. I don't think you have much shooting in that list.
Charmanders.
Other than those, but those,
Other claws would still
my
suck.
my dragon princes I think could take out your salamanders, at least one of them, and I think my other archers could plunk off enough wounds on the other one to make
Good
it
luck.
They're skirmishers,
The
baby.
Dark Elves think that every game.
But even if I have to banish them, I'll do that. I mean, that's gonna, I think, be the biggest thing for me. And I'll probably have Shem's Burning Gaze as well, which I think could probably work against them also. I think that's gonna be my biggest thing. The Saurus Warriors, I mean, they're big and tough, but again, I think my Sword Masters could take them fairly easily.
That's true.
So, redirecting characters and choosing spell priority of what I kill when I kill it will be key for me. I mean, obviously pause is going to be essential, but I almost think banishment will be worth more against your list. Against Matt's, the unkillable scares me. It's not really unkillable, but it scares me in that it can hold up my block. So, kind of the same thing. If I can get banishment, even though it's reversed, re-rolls the wards is nice with the banishment. So that will help me. The other thing is, since I have a lot of chaff, I think that I might be able to prevent the counter charge. I don't know if that makes sense at all.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, just also try and look in the future and think, okay, what is he gonna do? What is he planning for? I gotta avoid the flank, and run it down his throat as quick as I can.
Gotcha. Apparently we're a bunch of, was it Mother Cleo or whatever?
Something like that.
We can see into the future, baby.
So I think that's about it with me. Pretty simple. Dallas, what about you?
All right. Well, against your list, I'm not exactly sure how I would beat the block in combat.
See into the future, baby.
I think what I'm gonna have to do is probably count on my salamanders as much as possible. Foz scares me because of that with the the 4-ups, but I think I could, if I focus on those more, maybe even more than the banishments, I'd probably be okay. Especially if I could cogitate the proper wizard.
Yeah.
Oh, what a great word. Anyway, I think I could probably work it to my advantage and salamander the crap out of them, especially if I could get the BSB somehow out of the way. Just because that one flea test is, if he fails it, I'm on. Other than that, I think my best bet is actually to send my Scarvets around to take everything else out, and just kind of, even if I've used my Saurus to hold them up just a little bit, just to take everything else out, and then worry about this, the big horde of death that's going to come my way. I think your list is going to be very bad against like any sort of, well, not cannons as much, but trebuchets. If you don't get Foz, because I think trebuchets will mess your day up.
Which is one of the reasons I took Iron Curse Icon is that it's something.
True.
And Scheme Sliver.
And ski.
So you can get that first turn.
Yes.
Yeah. First turn's going to be big.
Which we know means Ski Sliver how it works.
Oh, that means you'll only ever roll meeting engagement and dawn attack?
Yes.
Oh, and Watchtower.
And Watchtower.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
sweet lord, I don't want to even think about your list in the Watchtower.
Oh, that'd be.
I give up. You win.
All right, and we'll swing over to Matt. Matt, I think my combat blocks will hold up a little bit better. My Saurus, just because no Mind Razor, no Strength 8 coming at me, so my Toughness 4 and my armor will actually mean something.
Rub it in.
Welcome
But-
to the true high elf world, Matt.
But there's definitely some dark magic that I'm quite fearful of coming at me. So I think
Actually, your Slan is ridiculously vulnerable to Blade Wind since they're close combat attacks. You only get the 4-up save, and it's 3d6. So
That is
I mean,
true.
I can do nasty things to a Slan probably over 2 rounds, but that's still
more than what most people can do.
that's true. Yeah.
So that would definitely be it. I think again, my salamanders are going to be my MVPs again, because they usually do pretty well. Other than that, the unkillable Dreadlord I always hate going against, because that's just always just a nightmare.
It takes so much skill to run him.
Yes, and my Scarvets are not they're still armor saves 2 up and 1 up for my 1 with the Crown of Command, so using them to my advantage against this list, and of course always that stupid Hydra that always messes with my day. Oh, and let me also Killing Blow. Killing Blow's my my bane. Corsairs and Killing Blow, such an awesome combination.
Let me just say, as elf players, other than our characters, we could care less about Killing Blow.
Yeah.
Whatever.
What's armor?
Whoa! And even our characters.
Yeah, a lot of times our characters are pretty well protected.
Yeah. So.
Not Slan
Not a.
on the range from like Goblin to Slan, we're like a little below Slan.
I don't know. I think my biggest problem is going to be between the two lists. I think is the high elves. I almost just said elves, which is dumb. But anyway, high elves. Just because I don't have as yes, they both will probably beat me.
No, we're gonna team up to beat you.
That's a stupid slime. Well, you gotta factor in I always make one losing mistake.
Critical worked.
All of the above mistake in the game.
An
and
epic
my
fail,
rolling.
if you will.
Yes, and that in my epic failing for rolling. When I'm not playing orcs and goblins, I roll horribly.
Well,
So,
with this big block of death, you won't have to roll that great.
that's true.
All right, guys. Any closing thoughts between the two? How about you, Matt? Is one of our lists scarier to you than the other? Just curious. Which one do you think would pose the worst problems to you?
On the face, I'm gonna say the high elf list, but I think after I get used to playing it, I will think that the lizardman list will be scarier. I think the lizardman list, and this isn't a slight to Jody, although I do like to slam him. I think the lizardman list is a little more versatile, and so will pose a little bit more threat continually.
Gotcha.
I think the high elf list will have a very steep learning curve against, but I think once I learn what I need to do, it'll be, well, can I do that before I get a sword in the guts? And the answer may be no, and that's fine. But so I think I'll hate Jody's list for a long time, and then I'll learn, oh, well, maybe I can actually beat this list, and then I'll be like, stupid lizard win.
All right. How about you?
The thing that scares me most about the Dark Elf list is the player. Matt's he's playing a long time, he's very good, he knows the other lists, other armies very well, so he kind of really can choose priorities better than we can at this point. But I think that the Lizardmen list, really on the same page, I feel like if I take a couple units out of the Dark Elves, I'm good to go. It's going to be really tough for him to recover from that. Whereas the Lizardmen, I kill a vet, oh no, you got more of them. Mm-hmm. It's going to be tougher because of the versatility and the ability to have 2 over here and a stag and a vet here and a block of source in the middle. How am I going to prioritize that?
Gotcha.
And the versatility.
Yeah. That's kind of, I hate to sound repetitive with the rest of y'all, but y'all have already repeated each other. So I'm trying to figure out my best answer against the high elves, because each one of my answers is if he's not able to do this, then I can do this.
Yeah.
if I'm able to go first, I'm able to take out a butt chunk out of his with my salamanders. If he goes first and he gets double flaws, that's not going to happen. And I'm also hitting on like sixes with my if he has double flaws. Oh, good grief. Anyway, against the Dark Elves, I think it is the more varied list just because it has more combat options, and of course it has the dangerous combat, the cauldron that can put its buff wherever they want, and all the buffs are excellent in that from it, and I think it has more threats, just not as powerful of one as Mr. Jody and his single. Hey, what you gonna do to this baby? It's just yes, but anyway, that's our thoughts. We may be completely wrong. Who knows? And we'll pick it up after we've tested this out a little bit, seen what has worked, what hasn't, and our tweaks.
Yep.
So hey, again, post y'all's comments, your thoughts. Which list do y'all think is going to be the crappiest to face? Which one would you rather see on the opposite side of the table? So hey, peace out, guys.